Hi everyone, welcome back. So we've owned the pub for basically 6 months now, and I thought I'd do a bit of a catch up, tell you what's been good, what's been bad, some honest feedback really. So yeah, let's crack on into it. So what's changed in the last 6 months? Well, we've had the kitchen done. That was good. During the time of the renovation, we actually set up an outdoor kitchen. We decided to do it in the summer. Everyone thought we were mad, but we thought we'd prove a concept of having an outdoor kitchen, run a really good barbecue, and that went down a storm and allowed us to sort of test the concept, prove it worked. So we're going to bring that in for summer of 26. We've had a few new faces join us. We've got Aaron as front of house. The team who were here previously, they've really chipped in and pulled their socks up and done an amazing job and really helped the pub grow. One thing what has happened over the last 6 months is the fact that the pub, in terms of covers, turnover, has jumped substantially further forward. So for instance, just to give you a bit of an idea, I think previously a Sunday at the very beginning for like a roast, which is usually our most popular day, admittedly it was in the summer, but we were doing about 70 covers. We're now up to around 150. We've been ploughing the social media, so we've been putting a lot of time into Instagram, into YouTube, trying to grow just the understanding that the pub actually exists and that we should be a choice for people to come down to. And that seems to be working, getting some really good feedback. We've had a brand new till put in. That's been fun last week. But we're trying to just bring us further forward, bringing in technology. Previously, for even the booking system, it was all wrote down on pen and paper. We've now gone onto a digital system. We're using Dojo, and that allows people to book online. We've had a new website again. That's taken a nice jump forward, really shows off the pub. New fridges, new layout, got some new suppliers. We've now got Guinness on tap, just due to popular demand. Everyone knows, but Adam, that was a big turning point, getting a really good head chef in, who's leading us really far forward with the food. There's definitely been some setbacks. Now you're in it and been running it for 6 months. It's amazing that so many places manage to keep going and stay open, because it is very difficult to make money. So some of the hardest parts is actually just making money. The main issue, what we found, is you have really good weekends and then the week just eats into that profit and it all disappears. And the trouble is, you need a certain level of staffing to actually allow the business to operate smoothly and offer a level of service that obviously customers need. Like a standard day, including sort of all the fixed overheads, minimal staffing, say it's a Tuesday and we haven't got many bookings for lunch and dinner, you're talking it's costing around 1,300 quid just to open the door. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the fact that if you're paying 20 quid for a main meal, fiver for a drink per person, say it's 25 quid, it really takes a lot to be able to cover your overheads. And especially on those quiet days, you were literally just eating into any profit you had and eating into your bank account. Unfortunately, it's just the way of hospitality, and you can see how it can be so seasonal, with people booming in the summer and then dropping right back for winter. We're quite lucky in that sense, is the fact that we have got a really nice cozy country English pub where people can come for a roast dinner, and we've got a beautiful garden, so we've got the ability to have both summer and winter trade. But it is those weekdays where you can suddenly have a great weekend, do a good few £1,000, and then by Monday, Tuesday, all of that reward is just eaten into. The other thing is just how difficult it is actually to find staff. We've been looking for a sous chef, well, for basically the whole time I've owned it, and it's really difficult to actually find people who are good, who are committed, and also the standard that we require. We've been really lucky with everyone who we have employed, and who has came from the previous ownership, that we've got a great team now, like creating some really good foundations. The key now is just to weather the storm while we do sort of all the renovations, sort of put us past the break even point and allow us to start then ploughing forward. Once we've established that our minimal amount of money that we're generating is at least covering the overheads, when we then have those good days, we really do start to jump forward. Some of the most rewarding parts have been creating a really good team, getting the garden done, how successful the barbecue was, getting the kitchen renovated. Since being in the new kitchen, how we've managed to increase the number of covers, getting the YouTube content continuously going out, and the social media. When we had the Waves Collected up here, which is a band that happens to be my brother-in-law's, and that just went down really well. You could see how the locals really enjoyed it. And a few people say to me, they're really happy to have the pub back like they remembered. So it shows what we're doing is good. It just requires a lot more time to sort of break the barriers that we're currently facing and to get it into a profitable situation. But the good thing is I don't quit and we're definitely moving in the right direction. It's just going to take a bit of time, but hopefully the juice is worth the squeeze. In terms of nights that we've put on, we have on the Monday pie night, Wednesday fish and chip night, and the Friday is the curry night, and we sort of run a promotion with a drink on that. And the curry night in particular has gone down really well, probably because it's a Friday night, but that was actually from the girls. They said, look, it'd be really good to have a curry here. We can't get a good curry anywhere locally. So we were like, let's put one on, and it's done really well. So what we do, we run an Indian one week and the next week's a Thai, and we just have that rolling. And people have been really, really happy with that. The nights that we've got coming up should go down well as well. So we've got the bingo night, that's on the 17th of December. We're hoping that should bring in a good crowd. Got a load of locals who are already signed up to it. And that's one thing about owning this, is you realise how much the pub is part of the community, and the fact that we are investing it in and trying to bring it forward and put on these events and still keep all the locals engaged is really important. We also have on the 21st, I believe, the Wave Collectors again are coming up here just because they went down really well. Everyone enjoyed them, and they're sort of doing a bit of a Christmassy special. So it's a few days before Christmas. So again, I just checked with Joe before doing this video, and we've already got 85 covers booked for that. So I expect by the time we get round to it and we do a little bit more promoting, we'll be up over 150. So that'll go, that hopefully will be a really popular night, and we'll have lots of people enjoying themselves. Also been running our Christmas menu, and yesterday we had the local Doddy boys in. There was a table of 20-ish. I think they started at 12:30, and then a couple of them were still going at 8 o'clock last night. So they obviously enjoyed themselves, tucked up in the pub. A really good Christmas dinner that Adam and Ali and Colette put on, and that went down really well. Hoping with us doing the extension, increasing the restaurant space, when we have the good days, when we can't fit enough people in, they should then help carry through the week. Just to dive into some challenges more, one of the major things that prior to buying the pub didn't quite realise is once you got planning, because this is a completely new thing to me, is once you got planning, especially for the commercial side as well, and I think even for standard personal side, you have to go and get the building regs controls done. You can't actually put anything in the ground until you've had, like we've had to have drainage surveys done, structural surveys done. So that again is 25 grand. So that was bloody expensive to have all of that done. That just delays everything. So we wanted to actually crack on and start doing the cellar. That's something that was in dire need really of getting sorted, but we can't do anything until those drawings have been done. They're in the process now, and hopefully should have them by the beginning of next year. We'll be able to do the cellar, but we can't actually do the cellar until all the drains have then been put in for the whole extension. So it's almost, we have to phase the development. So we have to have phase one would just be having drainage put in for the whole extension, and then once that's done, then we can start redoing the cellar, the cool room. Then phase two will be going into the extension of the restaurant, extension above, so putting the more rooms in, and then hopefully at that point we'll have to obviously close the restaurant, but hopefully we'll be able to fall back onto our outdoor kitchen, which again is a challenge because didn't realise we would have to get planning permission for that. So it's not a biggie. We've still got a bit of time, and this is what I'm working on at the moment. So this is just to go next to our pod. But again, it's just more costs, added time, because we actually wanted to start it like now because it's quite an easy thing for them to crack on with, the builders. But we can't start until we've got the planning signed off. And you always got in the back of your head, is planning going to let it through? But obviously, we want to put that in, so then we've got a decent kitchen for doing our barbecuing, and also having that decent kitchen will allow us, over the course of the kitchen being closed again during the renovation, allowing us to actually have somewhere to be able to put food out, so we can still sort out the customers. These are all like challenges, and you're constantly problem solving. One of the main challenges is you don't actually ever switch off. So that's the same as running like a business in general. Once you commit to, I'm doing this full time, whether it's Optics, Elite, all of the other businesses that I own, and the same with this, is once you're sort of, I'm going down the mindset of being a business owner, you don't ever switch off. You're always thinking how to make more money, how to solve problems. Ultimately, it all falls on your shoulders, and that's one of the major things that you've always got to be thinking about. Is ultimately you're the only person who can sort this. So we're lucky we've got a good team around us and people we can put. We can sort of come up with ideas and be like, how do we solve this, or how can you get this done at this point in time? But ultimately, is you're always the one paying the bills, sorting the issues. And yeah, that's one of the major things. It's just adding another thing to the plate. But luckily, I'm quite good at spinning plates and thinking in multiple directions. So another challenge is coming up with content. I'm completely winging it with the help of and a little bit of chat GPT to come up with some ideas. The thing with content creation is just trying to come up with ideas, and hopefully one of them sticks. We actually recently found out that people really like fish. So we went to Brixton Fish Market, and our YouTube videos have been pretty much 150 to 250 views, which isn't too bad considering it's a completely new channel. It's me doing it, so not the best personality. Suddenly realised that when we went to Brixton Fish Market, that's the gold mine, and we're suddenly up in 11 days to around 11,000 views. We had that in as part one when we did the fish market tour, which actually, to be honest, is really, really interesting. Living in the bay, in Torbay, for the whole of my life, you don't quite realise how Brixton Fish Market and Brixham as a whole is such an amazing place for the fish trade. And yeah, it was really eye-opening just seeing how many different species of fish we had, how active it was, obviously offering booming trade, not just in the UK, but they were exporting a lot of this fish as well. We then went on to Wright Brothers, who were the supplier that took us around there. They're a really good supplier, worked with some of the best restaurants in Torbay and Devon. They've also got their own restaurants up in London, and they're a really good fish wholesaler. They've been doing it for many years. One of the owners took us round, and it was really insightful just knowing how passionate he was about fish in general, and also learning from him everything that he knew. So yeah, it was good to see exactly where our fish and chips comes from, where our bouillabaisse ingredients comes from, and knowing how much they care about the fish in that respect. Wright Brothers factory tour, that was up at 2.7 thousand views. And also our butcher's video, what we done in conjunction with Bailey's and Sons. They took us round. They have a place up in Torquay, Polk. That's the shop front for their butchers. And again, it was great seeing where the meat comes from. And yeah, that obviously that done really well. That's over 1,000 views. People obviously enjoy seeing where we're getting our meat from, where we're getting our fish from, and just a bit of behind the scenes work. So we're thinking we're going to lean more into that. We're going to talk to our deer stalker, who we get our venison from, and yeah, hopefully be going out with him in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that content. As I didn't realise was just how much it is. It's just really bloody expensive having a pub. Say if you employ someone for roughly 15 quid, you're adding on about 14% in PAYE and national insurance straight away. So that 15 quid wage is actually closer to 17, and you're in a position where you're in a catch-22. you need them to operate the pub, but it just costs a lot, and you have to do a lot of turnover to be able to actually get a reward from it. Like I said, we're in it for the long run, and it is an investment. It's something we're looking for 5 to 10 years, that we've created not only a profitable hospitality venue where we can do weddings, have glamping, and just a really nice place to come, but we've also, with the extension, we've built an asset that should in theory go up in value. So yeah, there's some of the challenges that we've sort of faced, but it's all part of the game. This is what makes it fun and challenging. So what's happening in the next 6 months? Like I touched on in the rest of the video, looking to get the actual extension started. So like I said, get the drainage in, then hit the cellar, then hit the restaurant extension, then start doing the rooms, and eventually get that function room done. But that's more over not just 6 months, because it's going to be a big old project. But that sort of gives you a bit of an idea and timeline. We're probably talking 12 to 18 months time to have all of that done. The major things will be just getting spade in the ground as such to be able to crack on and start the development, because at the moment I hate being in limbo. You've got all these ideas and things you want to crack on with, but you've got this red tape that you can't like move forward on. You've got the planning hopefully going in for the outdoor kitchen area. Had the drawings sent over to me yesterday. That looks good. We'll be hoping to submit them before Christmas, and the same goes for the glamping pods. We've got to get one more survey done, and then it go to the planning officer that will be submitting it on for our case to put those 2 glamping pods in there. Obviously got Christmas. That's going to be hopefully nice and busy. Oh, and yeah, hopefully in the next 6 months we actually will get the coffee trader done. To be honest, with that again has been a bit of a chicken and egg situation. It's got it in the right position. We've got it connected to mains water, connected to electricity. But one of the major things, find someone to do it. And again, if you put someone else in it, you've got to be paying them. And for the first 6 months or so, you're not really going to get the footfall down here. We're just sort of reevaluating how we do that. So whether we get someone who can rent the space off of us. The main reason for really getting it down there is actually to have something where it gives people another reason to come down to the pub. We could just focus on coffee and cake from that as a venue, and focus on like the dog walkers and Holden and trying to get them down here. And once they're down here, hopefully then get them to come into the pub for a Sunday dinner or a weeknight dinner. What we're trying to do is make the nobody in a bit of a resort with like the glamping pods, having the coffee van, having the pub, doing the renovation. We're trying to make it like multiple reasons for people to come and visit us. So yeah, that's sort of the major plans over the 6 months.
If you were to start again, what would you do differently?
So we'll make sure that we had management accounts immediately, just to have a better feel of how expensive it was to run the pub. Usually that's something I completely swear by for all our businesses, is knowing exactly where we are. And because I've done it for so long, you have a good understanding of what your fixed overheads are, and obviously your salaries and your wages, etc., all set, and they don't change really unless like at the end of the year. But with the pub, that's one thing we didn't do, is we were getting the turnover, but actually with it being a new business, is not having a grip on those numbers immediately. So it took me around 6 months to sort of dive into it, and by then we had actually a decent amount of information. But that's one thing I would have changed if I can start again, would be making sure I knew my numbers immediately, because that's very, very, very much the most important thing you need to know.
What's the nicest feedback you've had lately?
So I touched on this earlier, but when we had the music on and the live band, one of the locals called me and just said how we've obviously done a really nice job and kept the community involved, and he felt like he got the pub back to how it was when he first moved here. So that was really nice feedback, and something that made me smile. So yeah, hopefully we can just keep doing that and we can keep it evolving.
What's the funniest or most chaotic moment from the past few months?
So I would say Jack probably tips it at the moment. He's our local groundsman, buildery type of chap. Does a bit of everything, really good. Done the car park for us, and we were putting in sort of the little water fountain area. Was yet to be working because it looked really bad. But as he was connected that up, we couldn't actually turn off the water, and he was like, I need to do this. So he just cut the line and then just basically created a pond in the trench that he had dug, and he just got like showered for 5 minutes while he was trying to reconnect and put the new line in. So that was quite funny. Also, probably recently, when I was last up here for some food, we had Molly and Huey behind the bar. Molly stacked it and dropped a couple of drinks, and in the process of Huey laughing at Molly, he then stacked it and dropped the drinks that he was making. So that's quite chaotic. And finally, I had to use my first aid skills pretty close to when we first got the pub, because I was filming, I think it was the first video, and so that was back probably beginning of summer, and I was wandering round and went out the back and was just sort of explaining where sort of the extension would be, and Guesty comes running over, who's our builder, and he was like, no first aid, mate. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, mate, he's having a seizure in the van. I was like, what? So I immediately had to stop filming. And yeah, when we had a delivery and a chap was having a seizure, and yeah, I had to bring in my first aid and sort of, yeah, be on the phone to the ambulance and wait for them to come. And yeah, it was pretty full on. But yeah, I would say they were the most chaotic moments that I can remember. There's probably been loads more, but they were the ones that stand out for me. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that was insightful, gave you a bit of a look behind the scenes, what it's like to own a pub in the UK. And yeah, it gives you a bit of an insight also of where we want to take the pub. It's been a whirlwind of 6 months, and yeah, looking forward to what the future brings. Remember, you can always help control what content we put out by liking and subscribing to the channel, and also making sure you drop a comment below, because just gives us some ideas of what to put out next. Obviously, like we said, the fish market video has done really well, and yeah, we want to create content that people enjoy watching, and actually it got quite a lot of likes. So yeah, if you want to see more fish, then yeah, fire away, put in the comments fish, fish, fish. And yeah, we'll make sure we keep the videos coming. See you in a bit. That didn't work. I can just keep plowing forward, and I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, remember, like and subscribe to the channel. I can RM. She's lost it. Shop front, butchers shop front. In the UK, seen the challenging times, and thanks, guys, for watching. Hope that was insightful and gave you a bit of a behind the looks. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you get fuck's sake.